breeding to using Pokeradar, hyper training to Pokerus, and surprise trades to transferring Pokemon. There's a feature for everything you can think of. But just because you can, does it always mean that you should? Well, in today's video, I'll be going over plenty of Pokemon features or mechanics, and finally give them a use case as a result. Being quite ironic when we take the video's topic into mind, the ability of learning about your Pokemon's memories and the specifically dedicated NPCs that are attached to this mechanic have surprisingly only been introduced with the start of Gen 6, despite me, for some reason, thinking it happened earlier. Like you could suspect, memories are another factor for making the Pokemon feel more like it's truly one of a kind, and a Pokemon like it only exists in your party, achieving this by catching it, beating trainers, winning gyms, accidentally walking in on you butt naked, that sort of deal. But, of course, since the mechanic is pretty limited as it is, the Pokemon can have only one memory at a time. And here I thought no one forgets their password more than me. So, despite the charm factor of trying to make the Pokemon you travel along with on your journeys feel more alive, the restriction of needing to visit a specific trainer to see them and being limited to one memory only, while being nothing more than just a "oh, neat" moment, it's hard to be surprised that even the people that know about it haven't touched it since that one time after raiding all the town's houses to see what items everyone gives. Privacy is a sin, I guess, but at least it got any sort of attention, unlike the next. Besides making for yet another dig at your mate's screen size, a useless feature could be easily used by anyone to call out the mechanic that popped into everyone's heads, if that otherwise wouldn't be the opposite of the main topic, would most likely be Pokestar Studios. But that involves you too much instead of a quick explanation, so it gets disqualified by proxy. Instead, why not talk about the black sheep of the film/TV creation industry in Pokemon? The Windows movie maker's illegitimate child, that's known as Trainer PR Video, with a limitation of 10 seconds and PTSD from the features of its not officially recognized father. By visiting the purplish building, you gain access to editing your trainer with makeup or other sorts of tidbits in the green screen room for extra flair. Or just get down to business and jam together predetermined sound or visual effects, music and edits to create your magnum opus that'll even rival the region's movie star and champion Diana. No, Diancie. Oh, wait. Dianva. Yeah, right, that's the one. Yeah, Kalos just kind of had it a bit rough when it comes to memorable things. I mean, Trainer PR Video can also effectively be used to grind the yet another invisible stat by the name of Style, original, which itself could be a chapter of its own with how elusive yet reoccurring it is, either being used as a drip check to see if you can buy clothes in special shops, getting discounts in same or exact similar shops, unlocking special dialogue, and other specific stuff. Well, at least XY did find a hit with Megas, and being pre-recognizable much solely for the 3D graphics already, so a few, okay, more than a few slip-ups were understandable, yet Sun and Moon had lesser excuses. Yeah, no. just because you had to use it to skip the tutorial that you're mashing through anyways, the Poke Finder in Gen 7, besides the pretty clever Easter egg about IGN's Horas's Too Much Water review, was just yet another experimental feature that disappeared as soon as it appeared. What's with all the possible dick jokes today? Arriving at a designated area and whipping the old bad boy out, Pokefinder allows you to engage in the poor man's version of Pokemon Snap, where either with the help of the 3DS's gyroscope or the control menus on your emulator you sly dog, you photograph Pokemon while trying to perfect their placement and timing with the poses for the best possible score, which translates into unlocking features until the eventual grind and result of 1.5 million points for a stamp in your trainer card. So, once again, shout out to the completionists. Y'all making me sweat for the title of the video once again. Though, while we're visiting Alola, despite photography being, surprisingly, one of the most reoccurring features in multiple shapes and sizes for all the Pokemon games, which date way back even to the release of Pokemon Yellow, where with a Game Boy printer accessory, you could talk to a photographer NPC and, well, print out your Pokemon stats. Right, I guess it's the thought that counts, huh? Reeling back a bit to the one that's featured in the chapter's title though, Alola's Photo Club in practice is pretty simple. You walk into either of the two designated buildings, alter the scenery and other effects how you want, while also choosing poses for you and your Pokemon to take, then prepare for the shot. Wait, that actually sounds kind of cool. Why has it been left in the dust then? Said no one ever. You see, despite the amount of options you can choose for the customization, the photographing concept as a whole, despite its charm, severely becomes flawed when not only is it inaccessible at any time that you like, but many of the special customizable options are locked off to such specific tasks like using a Pokemon from a different game for the shoot. On top of that, answer me this. When it comes to taking pictures, how often have you done it in the older games? And how often, even if it rarely is of interest to you, have you used a camera in Scarlet Violet, where it's usable at any time? If the previously mentioned Pokefinder didn't seed the thoughts of being this interested with Sun Moon's photo mechanics, while the revolting info of learning that the photo club is tied with the festival plaza, it would get too heated if I dedicated the chapter to this wretched foul creature, in any sort of way doesn't help matters either. I'm sure the answer you already got with the Gen 9 photo question clearly explained the feature's abandonment early. But hey, at least it doesn't hurt as bad as having no friends. What a joke! I definitely have used support play in Let's Go before. I hear that one poor driving imaginary person saying, but guess what, Lil Jimmy? Your imaginary friends can't appear in videos, hence they don't exist at all. Which means, stop lying. I know you just play it alone. 'Cause I do too. Alright, useless features. Alright, for any goobers that got confused with the title, I'll let this image speak for itself. Yeah, that feature. If poor old gamers like us weren't so oppressed already, then the fact of being limited to a set pool of words usually makes for, well, a limited feature. No matter how understandable the action is, due to there always being some bad apples in the bunch. I'll never forgive you, as is my game too. Oh, sorry, where are my manners? Like the name already makes a hint, the extension of the Easy Chat system that's known as the Trend appeared for the first time in Ruby Sapphire Emerald, while its foundation appeared a generation before. Yet, despite the mechanic's ties to every writing mechanic besides nicknames, making it be used in many scenarios as a result, every case for optional use, like with the interviewer NPCs or mobile city old man NPCs that depend on your trainer ID on which has been featured in obscure Pokemon fact videos, which just drives my point further, have been more untouched than pretty much any mechanic in these same games. Although, even with it sounding as useless as it is, the obscure Pokemon Phoebus itself somehow makes this retired mechanic not reach the top spot in the uselessness ranking, making the Trend feature have an actual reason to be in the chapter title. Visiting the Dufour Town Hall and going outside to chat with a boy, which by using the Easy Chat system and giving him a phrase, other NPCs will repeat the saying back to you at the first opportunity. Despite it sounding nothing more than the gimmick it is, for some reason the phrase affects the placement of Phoebus and the tiles you can find it on at Route 119. So, if other use cases in which this is relevant, unsurprisingly, don't ring any bells, or don't sound like it could be of any interest, then the fact that the Easy Chat got dropped after Black-White shouldn't be a surprise to anyone, just like our final placement later on, while Trends, on the other hand, managed to last a bit longer due to piggybacking on Ores's success. Oh, hey, actually, why don't we talk about features that didn't fully make it onto this video either? Either way, if you know it or not, there's no possibility of using it due to the site and the yes Wi-Fi connectivity being shut down. Despite it being a cute little side game for browsers, the need for hidden abilities by going out of the game to obtain special Pokemon has been long gone. So, feature-wise, its use case hasn't been there for quite a while either, taking the chance to have a nostalgia blast be gone too. Oh well, a man can dream. Man, I'm so far. Probably being the only instance that you've seen these used are when receiving a website that shall not be named type of Pokemon. Markings have always been a thing that's just standing there menacingly while being hidden in plain sight ever since the days of Ruby and Sapphire. I mean, I found this decrypting tool I apparently used years ago, but I like to save saying that my opinion matters for more important things, like how Lydian is the best Pokemon, and there's no other correct answer. In other words, let me know if you've ever had a use case for marks. Despite contests having a mixed reception depending on who you ask, I wouldn't really say that it has never been used, or useless. As for something that's in this club, and you don't recognize it by its name, Sheen is a contest-exclusive stat that you can increase for better possible scorings in specific competitions. Even though I've dabbled in some contest shenanigans solely for the ribbons, I somehow, up till this point, had never heard of this mechanic, even though it has appeared in RSC, Gen 4, Aurus, and BDSP. So I'm willing to bet that besides the contest diehards, you're quite unfamiliar with it as well. But hey, I'm sure you've at least heard of this last one. Oh, but Retro, I've seen mail be used in Gen 3 speedrunning to break the game and get specific things to progress the game faster. Yep, I know, but saying that Pachirisu won a world championship once doesn't mean that it's the top dog in the competition either. Just because one specific case can become an occasion that everyone remembers the thing by, that doesn't change that, as a whole, it can be a case of a vocal minority taking the lead. I, for one, had never heard of mail being used as such before researching for this video. And besides that, the only other case I've intentionally bought mail is by thinking that I can somehow put my Pokemon in there and send it to my brother's game. While we had only one Game Boy, and we usually deleted each other's save files when we wanted to play. So yeah, 5-year-old me was severely cooking back then. So besides the biggest IQ logic, I'm sure that many have had similar experiences with the item, so there shouldn't be any surprise that since XY, it has never made an appearance ever again. Alright, I've had my 50 shades of thises and dunks on the feature, but what does it even do in the first place? Well, if you're still thinking about it, I'm sorry. Ever since its introduction, by being hand in hand with the unheard feature of, get this, trading Pokemon, mail can be used to send various types of messages to other trainers by using the Pokemon you trade as a carrier pigeon of sorts. Or maybe you were going down to the over-predicting pipeline while team building for competitive to throw off the coveting or tricking enemy players. But yeah, despite Gen 2 being the only generation that you could freely type and use any characters, unlike the other generations with predetermined sentences or words with the easy chat system, which probably, like I mentioned before, was for the better in the long haul anyways, mail has been nothing more or nothing less than its real-life counterpart and its use cases. Well, for such sprite enthusiasts as myself, having the best thing it can offer be the various styles or themes you can buy, use, or see. So, despite lasting as long as it did, at least it went out with a bang. Boom! Of course I had it end with a Willy joke. Yippee! What a perfect plot device, but not as perfect as my Patrons, which you can join as well. If these useless features only uselessly fondled with your brain, I suggest trying out the useful mechanics of visiting my Twitter and subbing. I'm grateful for your useful attention span, so stay tuned for more.